Alright, so I'm going to be showing how to replace the battery on this Nintendo Switch. The customer actually already attempted this and several of the screws got kind of stripped out, so it's a little bit more difficult. But let me go ahead and show you. So first thing we're going to need, depending on what you have, what set, it might be different, but I'm going to be using a Y or Tri-Wing 0. And we're going to be removing the 4 screws back here. So they kind of stripped these, so I had to push down really hard to get these out. But yeah, keep all the screws in order because they are different size, shape, and lengths. And if you mix them up, you can damage your device. All right, the ones on the back are pretty long. So yeah, keep that in mind. And again, you want to be very careful with the screwdriver. If you feel your screwdriver skips outside the head of the screw, you don't want to keep going because the more you strip those screws, the less chance you're going to be able to get them out in the future. All right, so there we go. We got those 4 out. Next thing we're going to do, we're going to be removing several other small screws, but we're going to be using a JIS 0 screwdriver. The one on the top here, the customer actually stripped it out. I don't think we need to remove the game card, but let's go ahead and remove it anyways just to be safe. So they had a game in here. We're just going to remove that. Okay. Alright, so this screw, they kind of stripped it, so even though I unscrew it, nothing happens. These screws aren't really magnetic, so it's kind of a pain in the butt. To get this out, what I had to do, because it just keeps spinning, I had to get a very small flathead screwdriver here and a piece of tape. And basically what I do is I use the tape to kind of stick down on top, so that way when I peel it up, I can kind of get the screw out a tiny bit. And once I get the screw out a tiny bit, I can get my little screwdriver under there. Okay, and we're gonna lift that out. All right, so that screw's basically doing nothing now. I don't know if it if the device was kind of like knocked a little bit, it might just fall out. All right, anyway, so we removed the 1 screw on the top using the JIS 0 screwdriver, and then we're gonna remove the 2 on the bottom as well. Okay, and again, keep all these screws in order because they can be different size, shape, and length, and oops, mixing them up can cause problems. Again, these screws aren't magnetic, so it's going to be a pain. If you drop them somewhere, it's going to be very hard to get them. All right, then we're going to remove the middle screw on each side of this Joy-Con thing. These screws are a little bit bigger, but same thing, we're using the JIS 0 screwdriver. All right, if you have a not as precise set of screwdriver tips, you might have to use a JIS 00. Or 000, but you don't want to use like bad quality bits and then end up stuck with it permanently. All right, anyways, we're gonna lift up this stand, and if you do have a SIM or micro SD card, eject that. So push that in, it pops out. Just take that out. There's 1 screw under here, also JIS 0, I believe. So undo that screw as well. Okay, and this one is shorter than the rest, so make sure not to mix them up. Okay, so now that we got everything off, you can see if we pull with this stand, it actually lifts this piece up. If for some reason it doesn't, you might have to use like tape or something to stick to it and then get a better grip. But here you can see we can kind of just wiggle and lift this out. All right, is there like glue or something holding this? Maybe we have to pop this cover off. Pop that open, all right. And let's see, okay, so it's kind of lifting. It feels like it's stuck at the top here for some reason. So I'm gonna get my fingernail in there and then just continue pulling. Let's see if I can wiggle that out. Go around this side, okay. Yeah, I don't know why this, okay, that top corner was getting caught a little bit. But yeah, all right, so it's a little bit dusty in here, so I'm gonna clean that out. There's a little fan, so yeah, you wanna keep that in mind. This device can get the fan clogged up with dust, so you kind of want to try and clean it up, keep it clean. Okay. I feel like something kind of flew out from there when I was cleaning it, but it's probably like, oh, I see. So that's why the screw doesn't hold. So they actually broke this little screw mount thing. So if you look at the bottom one, this has like a hole, and the top one, that's completely broken off and missing. So yeah, that screw's not gonna hold anymore. Anyways, we're gonna clean this up. It's a little dusty, so I'm just gonna use a toothbrush and next to my trash can, kind of brush it off a little bit. All right. And then I'm actually like brushing into the propeller, holding it a little bit so it has a little friction so it doesn't just spin freely. And then if you have a strong, powerful electric blower or something, you can blow through here. I have this little handheld one that I can use for now, just to kind of give you an idea. But basically blow that out. All right. Next thing we're going to do, we got to remove all the screws inside of here. I think there were 6 of them. And the screws that are holding down this metal plate. But first, let's actually remove the SD card slot. So there's one screw holding this down. Okay, we'll remove that screw. And let's see here if we can pop this up. Oh, it comes up really easily. So then we're just going to carefully lift here. I think there's a push-in connector here, right? So you got to be careful lifting this out. We're going to kind of grab as close to the connector as possible and then just pull up, and here you can see the kind of connector. It's one of those kind of push-in, kind of like a Lego. All right, so we're going to set that aside. Again, keep all this stuff in order so you don't mix them up. Okay, next thing we got to do, we got to remove all the screws holding this in. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right, so we got one up here near the game card slot. Okay, we don't need to remove the 2 over there. We got one all the way over here on the other corner. 2, all right. Then we got one in the middle here, 3. All right, we got one down here, 4. All right, and then we got one over here, number 5. And one last one over here, 6. All right, close to that little ribbon cable. Be very careful you don't damage that ribbon cable, because yeah. All right, there's actually 2 ribbon cables here. So I think if you damage those, then you're probably the Joy-Cons aren't going to work. All right, now that we got all those plates off, or those screws out, we're going to lift this metal plate up. Okay, might be a little stuck. So you got to go slow and kind of just work your way around. I'm kind of just going around the edge with my fingernail and kind of slowly pulling it up. Be careful not to push down on the fan. You don't want to bend the housing of the fan. And there we go, it's coming out. So there's the metal plate, and they do have a little thermal pad here. Interesting. So the heat sink pulls the heat over here, and this blows it out. And then I guess they wanted a little bit extra cooling, so they put this thermal pad, which pulls the heat into this metal plate. All right, I'm not sure if that's a good idea because I don't know what kind of material this is and if it's even good at pulling heat, but all right, so here you can see the inside. I'm not going to mess around with this, but it has like these little flip latch connectors. You can flip the white side on this one, I think. Actually, no, you flip the little black tab here. This one, you flip the white tab. I don't know what this little card is stuck here, but it looks like it might be storage, probably the SSD built in. Then again, you have a Joy-Con controller here. This is probably for that speaker. Actually, no, the speaker connects to this little black and red connector. This little one, I'm not sure what that's for. Doesn't really say. All right, and you got another one over here as well. Maybe it's for the touchscreen. Okay, then you got the other one here. You got the battery connector here, and then you got another Joy-Con connector here. All right, so we're gonna have to pop this battery out. It is held in with some adhesive, so it might be a little bit tricky, but take note of the connector. If you look at it, you have the red closest to the base, and the black is going up towards the battery itself. This kind of connector, you got to get underneath to pop it up. It's like the speaker connectors on the MacBooks. All right, so let me zoom in here, and then let's pop this out. So what you do, let me see if I can even get under there with my fingernail. We might have to use some other tool to do this, but let's see. So we'll get underneath. These cables, since they're kind of folded over, are kind of in the way, so I'm just pulling them up and out of the way. And then once you do that, you get as close to the connector as possible, and you kind of just pop it up just like that. All right, so very easy. And when it goes back in, you just click it straight down. Okay, very simple. And let's zoom out here now, and we're gonna now remove the battery. If you're removing the battery, you want to be careful. There is an adhesive under here, so you are going to have to pry it out, and you have to go slowly. I have this really thin metal pry tool that I get underneath here, and then I basically will just slowly kind of wedge it and pry it up. Okay, and again, this is going to take a while. It's not something you can just quickly just rip out, so keep that in mind. Let me see here on this one. This is the other battery. This part seems softer, so you might actually have an easier time starting prying from here because you can get more underneath the battery because the little control board is there. But then you have to worry about all these other pieces here. So I think the most sturdy is actually from this side with the little rail. So let's see if we can get in there. It looks like they put the battery really close to the wall on that side, so I don't know, but let's try. All right, we're gonna slowly pry it up and then just work the tool in further as we continue. Okay, and some people will use like a card or something to get under here, like credit card or something, but yeah, this is what I prefer using. Okay, so I can actually see this whole bar on this side kind of lifting up. Okay, and we're just going to continue working our way over towards the center. Okay, you can actually hear some adhesive going up. All right, and we're going to just pull on this and slowly keep working our way in. Okay, and you want to go slow again. You don't want to force this in, and we'll just continue working our way. I might shove some popsicle sticks under there to help pull it up. So once I can get this under, so there we go, we got a popsicle stick under there, and then I can use that to help pry it. I'm using stuff that anybody can get except for this metal tool. You have to go find it online, but popsicle sticks, I think anybody can get those easily. So I'm gonna go over here and just keep working our way down, all right, around all the sides, and continue pulling on this. Get the other popsicle stick in and keep pulling and slowly keep applying pressure. You can see it's peeling up, and then move the sticks further in. So once you get some peeled up, I just push the popsicle sticks further in, continue slowly prying. Okay, get further in and continue. And we can actually go sideways this way so you can get a little bit better view. Okay. Get that further in. And if you want, you can probably put some isopropyl alcohol in there to help it go, but I don't want to get liquid all in there. All right, so it's being a little difficult now, but just continue prying. I feel like the popsicle sticks are going to break, so I might have to use double them up. Okay, so we're going to get another one under here if I can. Okay, can I get a second one stacked together? Let's see here. Pull that up. There we go. Okay, let's get another one. Double that guy up. Just strengthen it so it doesn't just snap where I'm prying it. Okay, and here's another double one. Okay, come on. I guess let's pry that up and get that in. All right, there. Now they're all doubled up. Let's go ahead and continue pulling on it slowly. And you just want to apply constant slow force. It will slowly pry up the battery, okay? Then we're going to adjust it, push it further in. Okay. Yeah, this battery is like a pain to remove. Continue prying it. Okay, you can see the battery is slowly coming up, and it's not coming out easily. Once you can kind of get in there, you can see the adhesive there. Okay, so let's go ahead now and try and work the popsicle stick in over here. And let's try continuing to pry this thing out here. So you can see the adhesive, how it's slowly peeling away in there. And we're just going to continue going. Okay. And yeah, it might help to do like layer 3 in there. Okay, now we've got 3 sticks all in one tab, and let's continue prying. And you do have to go slow here. Okay, hopefully we're not bending out this piece. And then if you can kind of try and get your hand in there. I feel like I should just do the isopropyl alcohol at this point. Let's see if I can use this tool to kind of scrape at the part that's stuck on it. And yes, we can. And we can continue popping this battery out. But yeah, it's taped in there real strong, so this isn't an easy battery to remove here. I don't know why they need to put so much adhesive. It's not like it can go anywhere. All right. Okay. Yeah, this thing is like stuck in there super strong. So I'm gonna get my fingers under now and try and pull it. Holding the rest down and carefully pull. And there we go. There's the battery. That's how they held it in with all that adhesive. I don't know why they need so much. That's insane. But yeah. Okay. So that's that. We got that out. We'll set that aside. And now we need the replacement battery. So we're gonna flip it back this way, and again, you want the red going down and then that going to this way. So if you want, you can go ahead. They included this adhesive strip thing. Let's see which way will fit better. It's not really super important, but let's go ahead and peel this thing off. Okay, so now we have this, and then we're just gonna stick this on the bottom side of it. All right. And yeah, it doesn't need a crazy amount of adhesive, so no matter where we stick it, we should be fine, but I'm gonna stick it more towards the center here. All right, and then just stick that down, and then we're gonna peel this layer off. Let's see if it even will separate. It looks like the adhesive layer is staying stuck to this. So, what? These aren't even removable double stick tapes. I think this is just a joke. This is like fake double stick adhesive. Like it doesn't come off. All right, anyways, well, that doesn't do anything. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get my own double stick adhesive, and I'm just gonna put a little bit in the corners. All right, again, we don't need a crazy amount. I don't know why they went so overboard with the double stick adhesive here. So I'm gonna get this, and I'm just gonna cut this tape. This is an acrylic double stick adhesive tape. Again, you don't need anything special. And I'm just going to cut this into 4 pieces and put a piece on each corner here. So that way, in the future, when it needs to be repaired again, you can easily pry it out and replace it. A lot of times the aftermarket batteries don't hold as much of a charge, so I don't know what the quality of this battery is. Again, the customer bought this and just brought it to me. So, okay. There we go. All right, so we're gonna peel off the protective layer of this so that we can stick it down. Oops. And the last one. All right, so there we go. We got all 4 pieces out. And come on, throw that away. All right, so the way we're gonna get this back into place, first we're gonna actually push the battery connector down. So we'll get this lined up. Those little red things are stuck to my hand. Get off. Okay, there we go. All right, so make sure you have this facing the right way. You can see the little slits this way. That side goes down, and then the exposed metal pins face up. All right, so we're gonna click this down into place. Just line it up, and then click that down. All right. even this connector isn't a quite perfect fit, so I'm gonna be careful. Make sure it goes in all the way. Good. All right, and you want to double check that it's all flush there, so you can see on top. Make sure that the wings are flush with these black posts that stick up. Okay, so next thing we gotta do, we gotta flip the battery over, and we just get it in. All right, drop that in place, and yeah, see, that battery's not going anywhere. I don't know why they felt the need to put like so much adhesive stuff in there just to make it a pain in the butt to repair. Okay, anyways, now we got that. Let's go ahead and get this metal plate back on. There's a little dust under, so let's clean that. And actually, let me take this outside and use my powerful electric air blower to make sure there's no dust caught inside there as well. All right, let me do that. I'll be back. All right, so I'm back. Let's go ahead and get this thing back together. So we got this metal plate again. Just gotta line everything up. Make sure that little gooey pad lines up with the CPU thing again. All right, get that lined up. Make sure the screw mounts all line up. And we might, do we have to line this and click that in or something? Oh no, okay. So it just goes around the frame. I think it was just that thermal pad that was making it difficult. All right, so let's get all these screws back in. So we got this one here. All right, make sure you tighten the screws so that they don't come loose and start rattling around in there. You don't want loose screws rolling around inside the device, obviously. Okay, you got the one in the middle here. Tighten that guy down. Got this one down here. Tighten that down. All right, we got two more, one over here. Tighten this down. I really don't understand why, like, online tutorials, most people don't do this kind of thing. Like, editing takes a lot more time, and it makes the video less useful for people that actually need it. So I don't really understand, but anyways, we'll get all these screws in. Okay, then we have the little SD card reader port. We gotta just line this up. Okay, make sure the screw mount lines up, and it has these little raised things to help line it, and then push that down. You might want to check if you lift it, if it stays in place. So this might be a little tricky to actually put back in properly. Let's see. Especially with this foam pad on top, I can't feel what I'm doing. So I'm actually going to peel this foam pad away. We'll put that back later, okay? So we'll get that, and we'll use that to help line it up. Click that down. You should feel a satisfying click. Good. Oops, sorry, I went out of view, but get that lined up, and you should feel it click when you push on that. So let's get this one screw in. All right, now that we got the SD card slot thing back in, we can go ahead and put this little foam pad on top. I guess this is supposed to prevent vibration from allowing it to pop back out, but I don't know how because it squishes so far down. Okay, next we're gonna put this back on. Line all of this back up. Again, this is missing the little thing there, so I don't think that's gonna, there's not really a way to make that stick. So I might put that screw there and then just put a little piece of tape to hold it. That way it's where it should be. But yeah, again, it's not really gonna hold itself there. All right, so we got the other JIS0 screw here. Tighten that in. Don't forget to put the SD card back in. Okay, there we go. Click that back down. Don't forget the game card. Okay, click that back in. All right, we're gonna get the bottom screws in first. Again, these ones aren't magnetic, so you have to be very careful trying to drop it back into the little spot, and then I like to twist it backwards to feel it somewhat click, and then tighten that in. All right, we got that. Then we got this one. Be very careful. You don't want to drop that into the USB-C port. Okay, and we got all of that. What else? We got the little side screws here. We are going to have to switch back over to, actually, these are JS0. Okay, so we got to remove put the little center screws back in. Okay, that one and this one. Okay, then we're gonna go ahead and put the top one in, again with some tape to hold it. Excuse me. Alright, so we're just gonna peel a piece of tape here. And there's not much room on top of there to really hold it in place, so let's see. Cut a little strip like this and maybe cut like a square or a little bit rectangle. Okay, so hopefully that will hold that. We'll get this in place. And let's put this little piece of tape on top here. Okay, so that will hold that screw there. If it's annoying to the customer, I mean, they can just peel it off and throw the screw away, but I kind of want to keep it where it was. All right, so there's that. All right, and now we just got to get the tri-wing screws back in. Again, I'm using a tri-wing or Y0 screwdriver. So I don't know why in the instructions that they got from there, it says to use a Y000, and that's probably why it stripped out this thing. All right, but anyways, let's go ahead and get these screws back in. And these screws are a little bit tricky. You want to make sure that they're going straight down, okay? There we go. Yeah, I don't know if I want to tighten that too much because it's going to get stuck in there. All right, get this one. Okay, I'm just kind of loosely fitting the screws because I don't want it to get permanently stuck in there. Especially since the battery had to be replaced. It might need to be replaced again in the future. Okay. I'm kind of doing like a 2-finger tight method, where I kind of just use these 2 fingers and twist it until it's kind of like hard to turn, and then we should be good. All right, so that should be good. I don't know if it will power on yet. We might have to plug it in. So let's hold the power button. Oh, and it turns on. So that should be good. Hopefully this video helped you guys out. If it did, again, please make sure to like, comment, share my channel with others so that they can learn how to upgrade and repair their devices as well. Subscribe, and yeah, if it helped you save a bunch of money, please consider contributing a little to the channel. Every little bit helps and allows me to continue making these videos for a living. I don't know if it will charge with anything other than the actual switch charger. So I'll have to get a switch charger and plug it in because it's at 18%. Hopefully their charge port is not damaged. But yeah, all right. Also, if you can't help with the other way, it would help a lot if you could watch a few of my other videos and like and comment on those because that's what the algorithm likes to see. And I'll see you all in the next one. All right, let's drop this. Bye.